So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So we got the full info for the final part of the Super Sugo-Fest, and we're going to get 2 legends and 2 rare recruits. It's going to be Legend Strength Kaido. No idea what nickname he will get. He's not even the first Super Sugo Strength Kaido, so maybe Strength Dragon Kaido, I have no idea. We also have the first Kanjuro legend, and he's most likely going to be a normal legend, even if we don't have confirmation yet. And then we have 2 rare recruits in Orochi and Fukurukujo. And these are probably normal rare recruits, like this will technically be a Kizuna Sugo-Fest. We will probably get Kizuna legends appearing, but usually when there is a Super Sugo-Fest or an anniversary Sugo-Fest in Treasure Map or Kizuna, usually the new units are not limited, they are normal rare recruits. So it's not confirmed, but that's my assumption. But yeah, I think we'll go from down to up here on the DB. We'll start with Kaido, continue with Kanjuro, and then talk about the rare recruits. And later in the week, I will do a more in-depth video about Kaido, Kanjuro, Kaido and Kanjuro, as well as the upcoming 6+ Gear 5, which we also got about a bit more info about today. And I'll make a video about Gear 5 6+ and Marco Viper 6+ a bit later after this video. But yeah, let's get into it. Dragon Kaido. Strength powerhouse driven, and yeah, here we have most of the info. So this strength Dragon Kaido reduces CD of strength and powerhouse by 2 turns. That's great. He boosts your attack by 5.75 times, and if you have a Wano orb, it's a 6 times attack boost. 1.5 times HP, you do end of turn damage in strength, 5 times attacks, that's a good chunk of end of turn damage. You change Dex orbs into Wano orbs. And if you tap on this character with a Wano orb, you reduce barriers by 1 turn, and you apply burn to enemies for 3 turns. So basically a burn that you can apply mid-tap, which is pretty interesting. That's new, I think. I'm pretty sure at least. This burn will not go through full immunity though, just a heads up. And if you take damage from an enemy, you apply increased damage taken to enemies by 2 times for 10 turns. So this is pretty similar to versus Akainu, where if you get attacked or take damage, you apply burn to all enemies. And if you remember using versus Akainu, there are some situations where you apply burn that you don't really consider beforehand, like if you get some preemptive damage applied, then Kaido in this case will just apply increased damage taken automatically, which is very nice, of course. I think we jump to his super special, since it's kind of also about the increased damage taken. Because obviously when you read this, you get worried like, is the only way to apply increased damage taken to take damage, like that is obviously limiting, but no. With his super special, which is a super EX, of course, and you need 2 specific characters, Big Mom, they added Kanjuro, of course, since Kanjuro is getting a legend here. Orochi is also included, otherwise it's any of the Beast Pirates, and you have 2 of those. You can reduce the CD of all cards by 1 turn. You change the top row, so Kaido and maybe another Kaido or something else gets a Wano orb. And you also apply a 1.75 times increased damage taken that goes through full immunity, and it's actually buffed to 2 times. This might look confusing, like why do they apply a 1.75 times increased damage taken and then buff it to 2 times? But the idea here is that if you apply increased damage taken through the captain ability, you can at least buff it to 2.25 times so that the super special doesn't end up being worthless. That's my read on it at least. And he also changes powerhouse to super powerhouse and strength to super strength, so that makes sense. His sailor abilities, pretty logical. Powerhouse gets extra stats, and if you have a one orb, you increase enemies, increase damage taken. So, not really sure how he's supposed to get one orbs as a sub, but that probably depends on the other units on the team, of course. But yeah, the special. And yeah, if the enemy has more than 1 million HP, you do 1 million damage to all enemies, ignoring everything, including normal attacks only. This is honestly a bit boring. It makes Kaido worse than some older legends like V1 Whitebeard does the same thing regardless of HP. So this just means that Kaido won't be a great sub in like treasure map to kill Mina bosses, for example, on the map. But that's not a huge deal, to be real. Strength and powers characters get a 2.75 times orb boost for 2 turns. If they have a 1 orb, it's 3 times instead. So this is one of those conditional boosts that is pretty new to the game. And if character is a captain, friend captain, or guest captain, you boost damage dealt to damage taken increased enemies by 3 times for 2 turns. So this is a conditional boost, and as we've talked about many times, increased damage taken conditional is the best conditional, since you both get the damage boost from the enemy having increased damage taken, and you also get the conditional to increase damage taken. So yeah, it's like hitting 2 flies with 1 fly killer. I don't know, that's a Swedish expression at least. So yeah, that's very good, and obviously a 3 times conditional is huge. We don't have many, if any, conditionals that big, so that automatically makes Kaido really great in modes like Super Boss Kizuna, which we just happen to get together with this Super Sugo-Fest, so surprise. So yeah, and we're not done yet, because this Kaido also has some potential abilities. Enrage actually removes Enrage by 5 turns, that's very rare. He removes special use limit duration by 3 turns, and he has a Rush. Well, this is not a shock, we predicted it. One thing we predicted this Kaido to have is critical hit and some mechanic to abuse it, because that was data mine, but apparently that unit is for the future. So I was thinking that either Kaido or 6+ Gear 5 will have some kind of crit mechanic, like Gear 5 even has critical hit, but no, that's for the future. But yeah, Rush, that's very cool, and luckily this Rush is more similar to Sanji than Gear 5. So Sanji has to hit first, Kaido has to hit second or third, and that's not a huge deal in my opinion. Like, you want to hit early, but if you hit first or second, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes it's better to hit second, sometimes it's better to hit first. That's basically how it is. And overall, it looks like this is not as good as Sanji's Rush, but it has at least an easier condition. You just need to reach final stage, and you need to have 2 of the units you need for Super EX anyway on the crew. Sanji also has some orb requirements, and I think there was some other requirement as well, so Kaido doesn't have that. While Sanji does Strength Dex Quick Rush attack boost, Kaido does Powerhouse and Strength, so they have some overlap. But yeah, I'm a bit sad that it's Powerhouse and Strength, because most Beast Pirates old Beast Pirate units are mainly driven. So I think it's a big lost opportunity that this isn't driven Powerhouse attack, because driven is a better class as well than Powerhouse. But I guess it's a good buff to Powerhouse, since they are usually quite meh in general. But yeah, that's another thing that does make this rush worse. And like now when we have like 2 rush tablets, the question is, do we want to spend them on Kaido? Like, I can't really recommend spending them on Gear 5, but I don't know about Kaido either. But still, it's a good rush. But you can only hit 7 times. With Sanji, you can hit 10. Sanji consumes less HP than this. And basically, Sanji will let you get a bit higher chain. But Kaido will give you a bit higher rush attack boost. It's a 1.5 times rush attack boost, while Sanji is 1.4. And that might sound low, but remember, it's another stackable buff. And you also get a lot of extra chains. Overall, it's a great damage increase compared to not using rush at all. So yeah, that's Kaido. Going to do a more in-depth analysis later, but he sounds like, well, he sounds like a normal overpowered legend. There's like not a lot special going on. It's not complicated. It's just very big damage. You'll want to use him against Dex Super Boss, and that's it basically. So a bit boring in my opinion, but obviously very strong. Kanjuro though, he's very weird. Also strength driven powerhouse. Captain ability, 4.5 times attack. When you use his special, you get a 5.25 times attack, and it's to driven and powerhouse, of course. 1.25 times HP boost, and if you take 30k damage, you launch his special automatically at start of next turn, and this can be done twice per quest. And that's basically the main reason you want to use him, because you can get some free specials. So yeah, I don't know, like 30k damage is a lot, but free specials is cool, so might see some niche use. In general, I'd say this legend is incredibly niche. So, special. Well, we can take the sailors first. Top row gets extra attack. They really want Kaido to do a lot of damage. And driven and powerhouse quick orbs are matching slot effects, so that's always nice, matching orbs. Special. So basically, if you have an attack boost or orb boost that is 3 times attack or higher, then you extend the attack and orb boost by 1 turn, which could be nice sometimes. But the cool thing here is that basically that Kanjuro has the Roger Whitebeard mechanic that if you have a lower attack and orb boost, let's say you use a support to give a 1.3 times attack boost, then Kanjuro will make that a 3 times attack boost, as long as the captain is driven on powerhouse. And I say this is the main reason to use him, and it's actually really cool, not going to lie. He also, basically, he applies burn to the enemy, not through full immunity for 3 turns. But if the enemy already has burn, then instead he changes all orbs to Dex, and makes Dex orbs a matching slot effects. And he also gives Strength Driven Powerhouse a base attack boost for 2 turns, just plus 1250, so not a lot at all. What confuses me here is that I might misunderstand Kaido's captain ability, but when I read it, it sounds like he applies burn when tapping. Maybe it's not that. Maybe he just applies burn when entering a new stage. The wording is very bad then. But basically, for Kanjuro to get his full board of Dex condition, the enemy needs to have burn. So we need to see how that works with Kaido, because the intention, as I see here, is that Kanjuro is supposed to give Kaido a full board of 1 orbs, which isn't that good either for Kizuna, by the way, but they probably want you to use the lead performers. But that also sounds kinda sus, to be real, because do we really want to use a free-to-play unit, super tandem, instead of a strong legend super tandem? I'm not sure about that. But yeah, or Kanjuro also has a super special, and you need King, Yak, Queen, or Orochi on the crew, and you can apply burn to enemies. You give Driven and Powerhouse a 2.25 times attack boost for 2 turns, And then you can use this special to make it 3 times attack, of course. And driven becomes super driven, so yeah. Kanjuro makes driven, super driven, and Kaido does strength and powerhouse to super, so good synergy that way. And yeah, the support is very weird. Like once per adventure, if you use a special to boost attack, you boost the attack boost to 2.25 times. Like most of the units supported here, Yak, Kaido, King, Orochi, Queen, if they do an attack boost, it's probably already close to 2.25 times, probably higher and not lower than 2 times. So this support sounds very meh, to be real. So yeah, that's Kanjuro. He has Enrage, and he has the bad barrier pen. I'm going crazy that they keep giving legends bad barrier pens. It should not be conditional. It should always ignore barriers. Like, come on, like just stop, Bandai. And then he has a last tap. It says rush there below, but it's a last tap. And it's a pretty bread and butter last tap. Like on final stage, you need an attack boost, orb boost, and base attack boost, which you will probably have if you use Kanjuro. When you tap last with Kanjuro, you change his orb to Wano through block. And you get an additional base attack boost plus 2500, and that's it. Not even like in double chain or something. So yeah, not that great. It's just a nice bonus. Not something you should use final tap tablets on, of course. Finally, let's go through the rare recruits. We have Orochi here. And yeah, we can just talk about the special and support, I guess. So it reduces CD by 1, removes beneficial effects on the crew, which is a nice ability to have most of the time, so you can remove bad debuffs and such. You boost card affinity for driven and powerhouse by 2.5 times for 2 turns, which is a very good number, I'd say. Driven and powerhouse, he also gives a 1.25 times attack boost and or boost to driven and powerhouse. So this is obviously made to be used with Kanjuro, so Kanjuro can make that 3 times attack and or boost. He also changes adjacent orbs to Wano, so that's very cool. But yeah, the weakness of this unit is that you basically have to use him with Kanjuro to be good. So that's a pretty big limiter, I'd say. Decent support to Kanjuro, Yak, Kaido, King, and Queen. Driven and powers get that 1.5 times attack boost at start of final battle. I wish it was when using a special, because that kind of attack boost is more useful on a mini boss stage than a final boss stage, but yeah, better than not having a support at least. And yeah, he has Enrage and Reduce Special Limit Use Duration. They really give that to everything nowadays. Reduce Special Use Limit. Fukurukujo, Driven, Cerebral, and Strength. And yeah, he does strength damage to one enemy, reduces damage reduction and damage threshold by 5 turns, reduces attack down by 5 turns, changes adjacent orbs to Wano, and boosts the chain multiplier by plus 1.1 for 2 turns. So yeah, I'd say that this rare recruit is just really good. Damage, you can put certain support, you reduce 3 annoying debuffs by 5 turns, you have 1 orb manip, and you do a good chain boost. So yeah, that's like the perfect rare recruit, nothing to complain about. Support to Kaido and Orochi, and this is very infuriating. If you are inflicted with attack down from the enemy, you don't remove any attack down, you just get a 1 orb. Like, come on, remove at least 1 turn of attack down, please. But 1 orb manip support at least, so yeah, it's something at least, can't complain. To Kaido and Orochi. And we get Enrage and Reduce Special Use Limits. So yeah, that's the upcoming Super Sugo-Fest for the Kizuna. In a bit I will make a video about Gear 5 and Marco Whitebeard 6+. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.